in your life after you have had a healthy sexual experience from childhood masturbation to the sexual exploration between man and woman or whatever, whoever, without having any kind of phobia, but enjoying or expressing natural law and expressing your sexuality. If you haven't been suppressed by the fears of the church telling you you'll get warts on your hand for masturbating, or you'll go to hell for masturbating, or you'll lose your eyesight. You'll go blind. Now, right? You've heard that before, haven't you? Have you heard that? Or is that just in boarding schools? You must have heard that. I know, it just ain't in boarding schools. Everybody must have heard something like that. These are all the things that are supposed to happen if you do it to yourself. And you're not supposed to do it with somebody else until you get married, and that's it. Stay a virgin until you get married and get that piece of paper, and that's it. I'm telling you that we've been conscientiously manipulated by the church and the state in order for the authoritarian power regime to maintain control and to exercise fascism. Because I believe that the only way that we can be blind servants or blind robots for the state is if we are not in touch with our true self and our true power as sexual beings. So now, if anybody in here thinks that you're going to sit in jail for a total of 16 years and not have sex with yourself, crazy. I'll tell you right now, when I was a kid, and I was doing it in the boarding schools, and I was thinking to myself, holy smokes, I said, man, I'm thinking, Jesus, somebody's watching me doing this. And maybe I'm going to go to some place called hell. I'm thinking, shit, if it feels this good, bring it on. Didn't matter. I said, the hell with it. The hell with it. This feels good, and I'm going to do this, and I am not going to deny it. And we'll just keep going. Because otherwise, what did nature bring give us the impulse for? Then I thought to myself, then all of a sudden, they're trying to indoctrinate me with Catholic school. The nuns and the priests, after they give me a good beating, because I asked them, when they said to me, well, Eve was created from Adam, from his rib. And I said, geez, that's weird. That's like just reverses the whole role of women, who are the givers of life from the womb, and you're going to tell me a woman was created from this guy's rib. I said, man, there's something weird about that. I can't believe this. And everything else they were teaching me in these Catholic schools, and if I didn't buy it, they would beat me right in front of everybody else. I had welts all over my body an inch thick from these rulers because I said, that is bullshit. And told them, it is bullshit. Those are lies. I didn't know why they were lying, but I said, that is bullshit. Papal bullshit. So when you challenge and you're a free thinker, all of a sudden, this is what you get. You get beat. And they try to beat you into submission to buy the same illusion. In any event, what I found out in the course of my own self-indulgence, in the course of my own self-experimenting on myself, in experimenting the power and the joy of ejaculation, was this. That at some point, when you really, really want to know who you are, and you submit your ego to creation, and get past your sense of ego, and you say to the great mind, the great feminine power, I need to know who I am. Because in my case, I say in the book, I'd been in jail 8 years. I'd been labeled a cop killer, which I wasn't. And I thought to myself, geez, I'm the only man convicted if I don't get out of here. Okay, because when you prolong ejaculation, what happens is your body will tell you what to do. If you're listening to natural order, if you're not denying yourself natural evolutionary sensations and feelings, what happens is your body will tell you, prolong the ejaculation. And what happens is that when there's such an excruciating need to let the juices fly, so to speak, to ejaculate or to have the ultimate orgasm, what happens is, since it's not getting released and you stop it at the point of going to have an orgasm, what happens is that sexual fluid. In the male, it's the semen, the most refined part of the semen. In the female, it's her ovum. And that sexual fluid, when it doesn't get released in orgastic or ejaculative release, that sexual energy starts to go up the cerebral spinal column. And it travels up to every nerve center that the East Indians call chakras, which means like disc, radar disc, because each chakra at the base of the spine, if you look at the chakra under a microscope, it looks like a cross inside of a circle. You know, like the symbol of native life in the four corners, the Hopi symbol for life. Well, that's what that one looks like. But each chakra or nerve center, Western physicists call it, when that sexual fluid is going to each chakra under a microscope, increases in lines in it. By the time you get to the crown chakra, what the East Indians call Sushumna, which means thousand-petal lotus, by the time you get there, there's 989 lines in that microscopic chamber, that whole microscopic chamber in your brain. That's your holy tabernacle. Now, when that sexual fluid goes up and opens every chakra along the way, the cerebral spinal column, when that sexual energy merges into that tiny microscopic hole in your brain, your inner consciousness sees it as a resilient ball of light. And then isn't it just as plain and simple to know that we are all manifested from two people's sexual energies, semen and ovum. And here it is, we're actually experiencing who we are. We are it, that universal energy throughout creation, and it is us. We are all gods and goddesses when fully realized of self, and when every single chakra is open, you now are a direct conduit to the universal mind of creation, and you become part of the all-knowing creation, mind of creation. Your intelligence is just perfected. You have now reached knowledge of self and knowledge of God. And God, not as some patriarchal white boy controlling the universe, condemning us to hell if we don't act. That's all a game. That's all illusion to maintain control. We are gods and goddesses who realized of self, and they put Socrates to death for that, because he and Plato's and Hippocrates and Aristotle's all studied under a secret society known as the Eleusinian Mysteries. And in this ingenious mythopoetic secret society, there was what they call the higher and the lower mysteries, lesser mysteries. Now, it's a whole story about gods and goddesses representing the power and principles of the human beings, but reflected in these characters in mythology. But the point is, the lower part of the mysteries was called the lustration of Hifron. Hifron in the Greek language means lower mind. Hephron. Every letter in the Greek alphabet, from alpha to omega, has an equivalent numerological number. If you take the word Hifron, which means lower thinking, lower mind in Greek, and get its numerological equivalent, you'll come out with the number 6, 6, and 6, which was the mark of the beast for those who could never get past their psychic physical selves. and cleansed their psychic abilities to go on to the next part of the mysteries, which was called the crowning of Isis the Christos. Doesn't that sound like something familiar? Isis the Christos. Isis means higher mind. Christos means anointed. What does this mean? Before you could become an Isis Christos, which means higher mind anointed, you had to destroy the 7 cities of Babylon, which was the 7 chakras, by awakening the sperma, which is the Greek word for sperm, and allowing that to open up the nous, which is the equivalent to the kundalini, the awakening of the kundalini, the crown chakra. And then you had a guy by the name of Constantine, who was a warlord, who tried to get into this secret society, who was denied by the priests access because he was a warlord and a powermonger. He goes off to Athens, he goes off to Rome, sits down with Justinian and Augustine, and then he creates the Council of Nicene in the 3rd century AD, and they come up with a bogus religion called Catholicism, and take this sacred text and come up with a fraudulent religion and have lied and duped the world ever since to exploit us and control us. And now is the time to tell the secret of the self, the secret of the truth, in a language that you'll understand. And, well, it's in the book. Thank you very much. That's my presentation. Isn't it good to know you can have a hand in your own enlightenment? Thank you very much. Thank you. No demonstrations.
Take any questions?
Yeah, anybody got any questions?
How long is the prologue?
That's depending on how long it is. Sure. I don't know. That's all part of the self-investigative process for me. It wasn't that long. But it was good. But you'll get a whole description in the book.
I don't know how much of that I missed.
Hey, thank you. Great. Yes, it is. That's my beautiful wife. Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Yes, we got you. Rainbow Rose and Chase Thunder. Yes. Anything has to have to do with advertising.
There's nothing else. Yeah.
Okay, do the same, huh? Yeah, okay.
You haven't read it? No, I haven't. Neither have I.
Oh, no. I'm talking about it.